All right, we're going to do chapter 7 today, which looks at matrix properties and their operations. So, a matrix is classified by its dimensions. So they're always written with these big brackets, and then you do your dimensions rows by columns. So if you had this, it's 2 rows and 2 columns, so it's a 2 by 2 matrix. If you have this one, we have 2 rows and 3 columns, so it's a 2 by 3 matrix. So the dimensions of this first one, we have 3 rows and 2 columns, so it's 3 by 2. B, we have 4 rows and 1 column, so it's a 4 by 1. C, we have 1 row and 5 columns, so it's a 1 by 5. That's how you classify with your dimensions. Solutions. So if matrices are equal, all of the different elements, all the different pieces match up. So if we're looking for X, Y, P, and Q, X is in the top left, so it has to equal 2. Y is in the top right, so it has to equal 1. P is in the bottom left, so it has to equal -1. And Q is in the bottom right, so it has to equal 0. So for matrices to be equal or congruent, they have to have the same value in each spot. So let's look at these and decide if they're equal. Well, those are both -3. Those are both 6. Those are both 5. Those are both 6. Those are both 2. Those are both 1. Those are both -7. But these last ones are reversed, so it's not equal because 2 of the spots are not the same. When you're adding matrices, you just, the elements that are in the same spot, you add together. So if you had 1, 2, 5, 7, and we were adding 3, 1, 6, 5, you just add the ones that are in the same place. So 1 plus 3 is 4. 2 plus 1 is 3. 5 plus 6 is 11. 7 plus 5 is 12. That's how you add them. So try these 3 and then check in and see how you did. So the first one, they're both 2 by 2, so our answer is going to be 2 by 2. 5 plus -4 is 1. -6 plus 6 is 0. 8 plus 8 is 16. And 9 plus -3 is 6. This is going to be a 3 by 1. 2 plus -6 is 4. 5 plus 3 is 8. 8 plus 12 is 20. And then C, this one's 2 by 2, and this one's 2 by 3, so you can't add them. There's no sum. So they have to be the same size in order for it to work. Your graphing calculator, if you have one, will let you do matrices. So we're gonna, if I can get it to work, look at my graphing calculator here. So if you're trying to add a matrix, there's a button over here. This inverse button says matrix above it. So if you hit second X inverse, it brings it up. So the names column is how you use the matrices. Math are different operations you can do on it. And edit is how you create a matrice. So if we go into edit, the first thing you do is you name it by its dimensions. So let's say we're doing a 2 by 3. Then you just enter your numbers in. So 2, and you hit enter between each one. 1, 5, 3. Now we have our matrix. To get out of it, we're going to hit second, quit, and that brings us back to the main screen. Now if we want to use that matrix, we go back in, see how there's numbers by A. If I hit enter, it's going to put A there. So maybe I want to do A plus A, because I don't have any others saved in here yet. You just do it again, hit enter, and it gives you a matrix as the answer. So that's how you can do your matrices on your graphing calculator. If you don't have a graphing calculator, this website will let you do certain things. So I'm going to pull that up. Can I copy? This might not work. Let's see. Matrix Edition. Go. Calculator. I'm trying to find the same one here. What do I have? Reshish. This one. Where'd it go? I just saw it. I just saw it. This one. So here you can do, and this is the link, copy and paste. You can do anything. So same thing. If we want to make a matrix that's 2 by 3, and then if we're trying to add and subtract them, then we select, okay, add or subtract, add, and then we hit set matrices. So in here, we would just type the numbers. So 2, touch it, 3, 6. So on your calculator, this will do the same thing. I should have picked a smaller one. 7, and then over here, we're going to set the other one. I'm just going to make them all 7, or 1. Then we go down here and click calculate, and it'll give you your answer. So this website over on the left-hand side, you have different options, but you can do just about everything we're going to do on this website that you can on a graphing calculator. So, analytic solutions. Oh, well, these are the answers. If you get this as something on your equation, dimension mismatch, it's telling you that the matrices don't have the right dimensions to do that operation. So check the size it's telling you. Look at them, make sure you typed them right if there should be an answer. Otherwise, that's telling you there's no answer. The zero matrix is a matrix where everything is 0. What happens is, to get it, the additive inverse. So if you have an A, matrix A is this. Negative A is just the opposite of everything. And if you add them together, you get the zero matrix. Just so you're aware it exists. If A and B are the same dimensions and adding and subtracting is the same. So it's like you can either add them together, like add the opposite, or subtract. It's up to you. So if you had 2, 3 minus 4, 1, you can say, well, 2 minus 4 is negative 2, and 3 minus 1 is 2. Or you can say we're adding the opposites of each element. So 2 plus negative 4 is negative 2, and 3 plus negative 1 is 2. So if you think about those the same way, that's what we're working on. So you try subtracting this one. So if you wanted to subtract, negative 5 minus negative 3 is negative 2. 6 minus 2 is 4. 2 minus 5 is negative 3. And 4 minus negative 8 is 12. If you'd prefer to add, you just change the signs of all the elements. And then negative 5 plus 3 is negative 2. 6 plus negative 2 is 4. 2 plus negative 5 is negative 3. 4 plus 8 is 12. You get the same answer, whichever makes you feel more comfortable. The calculator will do this for you. So if you were to plug this in to matrix A, that's a 2 by 2. Plug this into B, that's a 2 by 2. And then choose A minus B, it'll do that for you. So let's see if I can get this one to do it. So second matrix, we're going to go over to edit A. It's 2 by 2. Whoa, that didn't work. Second matrix, edit A, 2 by 2. 2. Enter. 2. Enter. So 2, 3, 5, 6. And now we're going to second quit. Go back into our matrix. edit B. Nope. Edit B. This is also a 2 by 2. So 5, 9, -3, 6. If I want to add them or subtract them together, you do the naming. So we're going to name A and then plus second matrix B. And then it'll give you the answer. If you want to do minus matrix A, well, that's not right. Second matrix, so we're going to choose A minus B. It'll give us that answer. So, and then the website will do the same thing. You just choose the plus or the minus. So that's how those work. Okay. C, D, C minus D. So this is just showing you if you entered this in C, you entered this in D, it'll give you this answer. If you do it on that website, you do your matrix addition and subtraction, 2 by 2, choose subtraction here, and then enter them in and hit calculate, it'll give you an answer like this. So you get the same answer regardless of what method you use. So you try this one. The answer should be 5, 1, 4. 8 minus 3 is 5. 6 minus 5 is 1. Plus negatives. There you go. Calculator. You can enter them and then subtract. You can do it on the website. You can do it by hand. It's up to you, whatever's easier. Find each difference. Can you do this one? No. This is a 2 by 2. This is a 2 by 1. So just like adding, you can't do it if they don't have the same dimension. If matrix A is added to itself, everything is twice as large. So it's like saying A2 times A. That's called a scalar. The number on the outside is a scalar. So you're using a real number to scale each element. All you do is you multiply every single element by that number. You distribute it. On that same website, if you choose multiplication, let's see if it goes there. Make your first one 1 by 1, and then the second one 2 by 3. I don't know if that's going to work. Yeah, nope, this won't let me do it. So you need to use this website for the scalars, and it'll just have you enter your matrix, and then there'll be a button or a space for scalar, and then you hit calculate. Does the same thing. On your graphing calculator, you would do 5, then name your matrix A, and it'll give you the scalar. So you try this one. Perfect. So 5 times 2 is 10. 5 times 0 is 0. 5 times -3 is -15. And 5 times 4 is 20. This is it on the calculator. Okay. You can do it with fractions too. 3/4 of 20. Well, if you did 20 divided by, or 20 times 3 is 60, divided by 4 is 15. Let's see, 12 times 3 is 36, divided by 4 is 9. 36 times 3 is 78, divided by 4. I don't think I did that right. Hold on. 36 times 3 is, 108. Divided by 4 is 27. And -16 times 3 is -48. Divided by 4 is -12. Again, do it on the calculator, do it on the website. You don't have to do it in your head. This shows you the same thing. This is what your answer would look like if you used that website that I had a few slides back. Matrix multiplication. So sometimes when you're seeing word problems, you can take that table and make it into a matrix. So here we're talking about an electronics store, and your wholesale prices cost $2 for a cell phone. No, you get 2 cell phones, 7 DVDs, and 5 video games. And then from the other place, you can get 4 cell phones, 6 DVDs, 9 video games. So you just can put those in a matrix. So if we did that in our calculator, 275,469. So I'm going to go to the matrix, edit A. It was a 2 by 3. 2 by 3. I already forgot it. 275,469. 275,469. So now that's in there. Now we're gonna say each cell phone costs $120. Each DVD costs $18, and each video game costs $9. We would multiply the amount of cell phones by the price to get the total. The amount of DVDs by the price to get the total, so on and so forth, add them up. We can do that as a matrice. We can take the first matrix that we made and then put the prices in the second, just making sure our numbers coincide with the price. So if cell phones are first, the cell phone price has to be first in our other matrix. So it's a 3 by 1, 120, 18, 9. So let's do matrix B. 3 by 1, 120, 18, 9. And then if we want to multiply those together, we name A, and then we name B, and it spits out the total cost, $411 and $699. So from each distributor, that would be the cost, which is the same thing we got here. And if you go back to that matrix website that we were on, you can do that too. You can do your 2 by 3 and your 3 by 1 and hit calculate, and it'll give you the same answer. To do this out, you can only multiply if the number of columns of A is the same of rows of B. So for example, if you have a 2 by 2 and a 2 by 4, these inside numbers have to be the same. If they're not the same, you can't multiply. Your answer is going to have the outside numbers. These are different, so we can't multiply it when reversed. We can only go in that one direction. So I'm going to show you how to multiply. This is a 2 by 3, and this is a 3 by 2. So our inside numbers work, and our answer is going to be a 2 by 2 because that's the outside numbers. Now to actually do out the multiplication, you're going to take the first term in the row and the first term in the row and multiply. So -3 times -6 is 18. Then we're going to take the second term and the second term. So we're doing the rows in one, columns in the other. And we do 4 times 2 and get 8. Then we do the third one. 2 times 3 is 6. Then we add those up and we get 32. So that's the number we put in the first box. Now we're going to do the second row and the first column. So we've got -3 and 4, which is -12. 4 and 3, which is +12. 2 and -2, which is -4. Add those up, we get -4. Now we're going to do, sorry, my phone keeps going off. Now we're going to do the bottom row. 5 and -6 is -30. 0 and 2 is 0. 4 and 3 is 12. Add those up, we get -18. And then we do the last set. What color haven't I done? Red. 5 and 4 is 20. 0 and 3 is 0. 4 and -2 is -8. Add those together, you get 12. And that's our answer. So multiplying by hand is a lot of work. I want you to know how to do it, but I'm never going to make you do anything crazy. And you can always use your calculator on your assessment. So why don't, this is what we just did. So if you put it in your calculator, it'll give you the same, that's not what we just did. They went the other way. AB, 342,504. What did I do? Well, that didn't work. So AB gives us that. So I did something wrong. Now I have to start over. Hold on. Let me see if we can figure out quickly what happened. I throw J column. Do. Okay, well, I did it right when I did it out. Oh, because this is B times A. B times A. Wow. Brain fart there. So if we did B times A, we're going over. So I was like, why is this not working? I know I did it right. Okay. So B times A reverses these. So it puts the negative 6, 2, 3 first. Negative 6, 2, 3. 4, 3, negative 2. So this was our B. And then our A was negative 3, 4, 2. And 5, 0, 4. Wow, had a brain cramp there. So this time we have a 3 by 2 and a 2 by 3, so we can multiply, but the answer has to be 3 by 3. So our first one, negative 6 times negative 3 is 18. Then we do 4 times 5, and we get 20. Add those together, 38. Now we're going to do negative 6 by 4 and get negative 24. 4 by 0, get 0. Add those together, you get negative 24. Then we do negative 6 times 2 equals negative 12. 4 times 4 is 16. Add those together, we get 4. Continue the process. 2 and negative 3 is negative 6. 2 and 5 is 10. That gives us 4. Except it's 3 and 5. This is what I have to write it out. 2 and negative 3 is negative 6. 3 and 5 is 15. So that makes 9. Then we do 2 and 4, which is 8. 3 and 0 is 0, so that becomes 8. Then 2 and 2 is 4. 3 and 4 is 12, so that becomes 16. Wow. So we're doing the first row with the top, the second row with the bottom. Now we're going to do it one last time. 3 and negative 3. 3 and negative 3 is negative 9. Negative 2 and 5 is negative 10, so that's negative 19. 3 and 4 is 12. Negative 2 and 0 is 0, so that becomes 12. And then 3 and 2 is 6. Negative 2 and 4 is negative 8, so that's negative 2. So there's our answer. So depending on the order, you can see it's really easy to mix them up. So I would do it by hand. I would do it with the calculator or the website just to make sure you're not making little errors on which elements you're adding or multiplying. No calculator, just use that website and do the multiplication. Put in your things, set your matrices. That's how you add them. Put them in, hit calculate, it'll give you your answer. All right. So find AB and BA. You can either do it by hand, you can do it on the calculator, you can do it in person, but you try those and then we'll check your work. So AB is going to be 1 times 2 is 2. And 3 times 5 is 15. So that is... Nope, I did that wrong. 1 times 2 and 3 times 10. So that's 32. And then 1 times 5 and 3 times negative 3. So that's negative 4. Then we do negative 2 times 2 and 4 times 10. So we get we get 36. And then we do negative 2 times 5 and 4 times negative 3. We get negative 22. So that's A times B. Now if we do BA, we're doing those in the opposite order. So it would be 2 times 1 and 10 times 3. Nope, that's what I have to write them in the right order. All right, so if I put A over here, 1, 3, negative 2, 4. There we go. So 2 times 1 is 2. 5 times negative 2 is negative 10. So that gives us 8. And then 2 times 3 is 6. 5 times 4 is 20. So that's 26. 10 times 1 is 10. Negative 3 times negative 2 is 6. So that gives us 16. And 10 times 3 is 30. Negative 3 times 4 is negative 12. So that gives us 18. So unlike regular multiplication, the reverse on this is not the same. You do get a different answer depending on which one you put first. Here it is on the calculator. All right. So you can use matrix to solve lots of things. So if we look at this one, a contractor builds 3 kinds of houses, X, Y, and Z, with a choice of 2 styles. So each model can be colonial or ranch. Matrix A shows what they're planning on building. So your colonial is and your ranch are your columns, your model X, Y, and Z. Put those in your calculator as matrix A. 0, 10, 20, 30, 20, 20. Second matrix. Name. It's going to be a 3. Nope, it was 3 by 2. So they were 0, 30, 10, 20, 20, 20. Okay, so that's our matrix A. Now we're going to go back. Matrix B is the cost, or the number of units you need for each thing to build the houses. So to build a colonial, you need the top row of units. To build a ranch, you need the other. So we're going to put that in matrix B as a 2 by 4. So second matrix, edit B is a 2 by 4. So 10, 2, 0, 2, 50, 1, 20, 2. Okay, so that's B. And then C is the cost per unit. So that's going to be a 4 by 1. So let's put that in C. This is one benefit where the calculator is nicer because you can store all of them at once. Whereas on the website that I found for you, you have to do it each section. So you may have to enter them over and over again. Ooh, let's try this. Okay, so 20, 180, 60, and 25. So now we have those in there, A, B, and C. What is the total cost of materials for all of the houses of each model? So first, we have to multiply the number of models we're making times the number of materials to figure out what we're getting. So we would do A times B. So you put that in the calculator and you'll get this answer, which means for model, what was it, XYZ? Yeah, so for model X, you need that. Oh, it says it right over here. For model Y, model Z. Those are the parts you need. You can store that as D in your calculator. So if we did this out, second matrix A times second matrix B, if you use this STO button down here and then name matrix D, it'll put that in, and now that matrix is stored rather than having to type it. So now we know how many items we need, and we have to multiply it by the cost to get the answer. So the cost was our matrix C. So we stored that as C, so we can do matrix C times matrix D, and it'll give us, must be, all right, that didn't work, so let's try if I do D first. Second matrix D times second matrix C. There we go. That gave us the cost of Model X, Model Y, and Model Z. So you have that option. So that was A. That was how we found the cost. We multiplied and then took our answer and multiplied. How many of the materials do we need is the next question. So for our materials, we're going to say, well, they called it C. Let's try E. So the totals of columns of matrix AB will give a matrix. Okay. So if we take this one right here that we stored as D and we total each column, this would be 3,800. So that's how much concrete we need total. 130 is the lumber. 1,400 is the brick. And 200 is the shingles. So we're going to put that in another one. So I will put it in E. So 38, 130. Let's store that in E. Again, this is the benefit of the graphing calculator, but you can do this online. You just might have to type things a few times. So this is going to be a 1 by 4, and we had 3,800, 130, 1,400, and 200. And now we want to okay, so there's that. So totals, that's what we need. And we would multiply that by the cost of each material. So that was C. Yes, C. So we're going to do the E that we just made times C. And that gives us the total cost of all of them all together. So we can use those. It's a lot of work, but it's a lot easier than doing it out by hand in some sense. There you go. That is 7-4. Let me know if you have questions.